on my Kindle. Hi, by Harley. Thank you, dishwasher. I remember nothing. This is very easy. I read 0 books in the month of August. Oh, hi. He's high maintenance. This might be a little bit of a challenge. Hello, everyone. My name is Reagan, and welcome to today's video. Today is going to be my July through November wrap-up. I got into a huge reading slump from the months of July to probably October. Normally I do a wrap up every month, but there was a few months where I didn't read anything. So instead I just saved it and I'm gonna do a big fat wrap up from July until now. Happy first day of Bookmas. Welcome. I'm doing Bookmas this year. I'm doing a video every other day of December until Christmas. This is the first video. Welcome to Bookmas day 1. So if you'd like to stick around, I'd love to have you. We're gonna start off with July reads. I read 2 books in the month of July. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I rated this a 3.5 stars. I don't really remember a ton about it. Our main character who's in the publishing industry and she ends up stealing another author's work who has died and then publishes it as her own. It talks about a lot of issues in the publishing industry and race in the publishing industry, like whose right is it to tell a story kind of thing. Then I read Dear Edward by Anne Napolitano. I rated this a 3 stars. I remember absolutely nothing about this book, so I have no thoughts to give you. I'll show you the synopsis of the book and you can pause it if you'd like to know what it's about. But I remember nothing. We're moving on. Next, we go into the reads in the month of August. This is very easy. I read 0 books in the month of August. So, reads in September. I read 2 books in September as well. Plato's 5 Dialogues. I read this for my philosophy class. I rated this 3 stars. Middle of the road of all the books I had to read for my philosophy class. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really interested in philosophy. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I also rated this 3 stars. As you can tell, everything I was reading was just meh. It wasn't hitting. I could tell that maybe it was a good book, but like I didn't care because I was in the slump. This is a thriller and they go out to this remote cabin and then you kind of figure out that the couple's not who they seem. Husband in this book has facial blindness, so like everybody he sees, he can't remember their face. Wasn't really surprised by this. I guess the ending, it was meh. Now we move into October reads, which is where I started to pick back up. I got kind of out of my reading slump. I read 8 books in October. Let's start with those. I have a whole big Trader Joe's bag of books that I brought home from school. Parcel to Take by Harley. Thank you, dishwasher. Parcel to Take by Harley LaRue. I rated this 3 stars. It's a dark romance about a demon and then our witchy main girl character. I was reading this in the thick of my reading slump, so it kind of just didn't hit for me. I think if I was out of my reading slump, I would have enjoyed it way more, which is kind of the theme around a lot of these books, unfortunately. I am going to continue with the rest of the series. A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is the 3rd and final book in the Darker Shades of Magic trilogy. I'm glad I got it done, but I don't think my slump gave this one justice. Can you guess what I rated it? 3 stars. It is the 3rd book in the series, so I can't really tell you a synopsis. The covers are pretty and I'm glad I got the original covers before they were revamped because I like these ones better. In October, I read the first half of the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I read Throttled and Collided. Throttled I ended up rating a 4 stars, so one of the higher rated books of the month. I rated Collided 3 stars. These books are F1 romances. You can tell that these are Lauren Asher's first books that she's written. Nevertheless, they're still really good, still really entertaining. Daydream by Hannah Grace, 3rd book in the Maple Hill series. I rated this one 3 stars. I think it was a little too long. I really liked Henry as a character and I really related to Hallie as a character. Hallie is kind of this people pleaser. She holds everyone together. She's kind of like the glue. And then Henry is kind of this like neurodivergent-esque hockey captain. Their friendship and their relationship and their struggles were very beautifully written and beautifully described. I don't know. There was just something missing. It was probably partially my slump. I think it just dragged just a little bit. Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This one I rated 3.5 stars. That's just the win, baby. This book follows Weston Belmont and Skylar, I forgot her name. The one of them is famous trope, and that is definitely not one of my favorite tropes. It was still fun. I still enjoyed it. It was a single dad romance. I think all of the books in the series are going to be a single dad romance. I think I'm most excited for the next book in the series, which is the green one, I think. Powerful by Lauren Roberts. This is the novella between Powerless and Reckless by Lauren Roberts, and I really enjoyed Powerless as the first book. This I was a little disappointed by. I rated it 2.5 stars. I think for a novella, it was pretty strong. I wish if we were going to get like this story, make it a whole book. Flesh it out like I think it deserves. I wanted a little bit more from the romance. If you're gonna do this romance, I would even say like make the first book more POVs kind of thing. Like I don't know if we needed this as a novella. Last book I finished in October was another philosophy book that I had to read for my class. This one's On Free Choice of the Will by Augustine. Like I said, if you're not interested in philosophy, I wouldn't really pick these up. Oh, I did rate this a 2 stars. This was probably my least favorite philosophy book that we read. Next, we move into November. I finished 6 books. Wrecked by Lauren Asher, so the 3rd book in the series, and then Redeemed next in November, which was the 5th book. I might have said this was the 4th book. This is the 3rd book in the series, and this is the 4th book. And tell me why. I hate it. It doesn't match. Not freaking out about it. I rated this a 3.5, and then Redeemed by Lauren Asher, I rated a 4.5. I would definitely recommend if you're looking for an F1 romance. I can't tell you how accurate the F1 aspects are. I really did like this last one. I think it was one of my favorites. I liked seeing Lauren Asher's writing develop through the series, and you could really tell she grew into herself by the last book as a writer. Wally wants to go out. Wally, you want to go outside? Okay, I'm back. Gosh, I did leg day yesterday and my legs are so incredibly sore that like I cannot move. Meditations on First Philosophy by Descartes. I enjoyed the 3rd and the 5th meditation a lot more than the 1st and the 2nd one. Again, if you're not interested in philosophy, don't pick this up. It was quite boring, quite dense. Not a huge fan of religious theology, so that was kind of unfortunate while I was reading this, but I rated this one a 2.5. Just not really a fan of philosophy, so. I read something on my Kindle. I ordered it to be here by today and it arrived, but my apartment complex mailroom is closed, so I don't have it in my hands. Tangled in Tinsel by Trilina Pucci. Now, that honestly sounds like a joke, but I'm serious. It was like a holiday novella, snowed in, why choose romance. I gave it 2.5. It was quick, it was easy, it was something fun to get through, but I wouldn't say it was life-changing or something I would necessarily recommend unless you're looking for like a spicy holiday novella type story. Cheesy, corny, and celeb-y, but like I knew that going into it, so I was okay with it. The Inmate by Frida McFadden. Frida McFadden either is a hit or a miss for me, and I've mostly had misses. This one was a miss. Interesting, but I guess the end, and I think it was very predictable. I rated this a 3 stars. I like these as like palate cleanser, mindless, quick read. He's mad. That's all for the Inmate. Oh, he's excited. He's excited. The Nicomachean Ethics by Aristotle. I read the book 1 of this for my philosophy class, and that's all we got to before the course ended. But I am not going to continue this because I'm not interested in continuing this, so I am going to put it in a wrap up. It was really dense, and I understood this the least out of all the philosophers we've read so far. It's kind of a DNF, I'd guess, maybe. The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I rated this. Let me just get through this last book, King, and I'll come play with you. I rated this a 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. It took me a while to get through because I wasn't used to reading fantasy like this. I ended up reading it on my Kindle. I would recommend. I am going to continue on with the rest of the series. I like this type of fantasy that's very raw. It's very gritty. It's real. The ending did catch me by surprise, not gonna lie. And it was vampires, which I really liked because I haven't read a lot of vampire fiction other than like Twilight. So that was really fun and really interesting. I wish he would have done this for the whole freaking video. He doesn't like to cuddle much, so this is kind of crazy. Thank you so much for tuning into day 1 of Bookmas, and I'm going to keep posting Bookmas until the 25th of December. Again, my name is Reagan, if I didn't say so. I do a lot of book content. I hope to see you in another video. Bye.